I believe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is better than Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Video game.
We're hoping to get a future All-Star.
I'm on a jetpack.
It's not.
What is going on, YouTube? Back with another episode of After the Whistle. Just me again. Shoot, why is this genre like being weird? Okay, back another episode of After the Whistle. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We are at 94 subs, so you guys are doing great. Really appreciate the love. Help us get that 100 sub mark. Make sure to tell your moms, dads, uncles, grandpas, brothers, sister, cousins, anybody that likes hoops, bring them over here. I didn't make any content last week. I tried to let that last episode simminate. What's the word I'm looking for? Simmer? Saturate. Nah, it'll come to me. But I was letting that last episode really sink in because I made an editing mistake and I had to release it a little later, and there was a lot of stuff that was going on. But we're back. Some more NBA content. So let's jump straight into it. You know, we had some games come on tonight. We had the Lakers play the Raptors. We had the Kings and the Clippers play. I'm not sure if this game is still on. Last time I checked, it was like the second or third quarter. I think it was in the second quarter. But we're getting down to the home stretch. We're in April. There's like every team probably has like somewhere between 10 to like 8 games left. So we're getting down to the home stretch. And we're really about to get into playoff mode. And looking at the standings, the way the Rockets have been playing. Now, I did say in a previous episode that the Rockets, that's Alfred Sengun's team. I know I said that in a previous episode. But the way Jalen Green has been playing, if they can get him to play like that, even going into next year, the Rockets really might have something. You can have literally a baby version of the Nuggets because you have Sengun, who is a smaller version of Jokic and Domantas Sabonis. And then you have a Jalen Green who can be a smaller version, baby type version of Jamal Murray. You plug in pieces, Jabari Smith, Cam Whitmore, Amen Thompson. I feel like the Rockets, my man's Ant, shout out to my man's Ant, he predicted the Rockets win totals. I was like, I think you're wrong about that, buddy, but he got it. I think he said they were like 37 games, and I think they're like 36, 37 right now. They're right on the heels of the Warriors. Now, the Warriors are really sliding. The Warriors need to win these games. If the Warriors want to get into the play-in, they need to keep winning these games. They keep having it be so close. And the Rockets are really on the Warriors' tails right now in terms of standing-wise. I think they're like a game or two behind one another. And the Warriors really got to be careful they just got to be careful if they want to make it in. Now, I also don't think that the Warriors can make I don't think the Warriors are going to make any noise in the playoffs. Okay, so the Rockets are actually 3 games back. The Warriors are 41-34. The Rockets are 38-37. So the Warriors have like a couple more games left. The Rockets have a couple more games left. The Warriors are going to be careful in these next couple of games if they want to make it into the plan, they want to make it into the dance. But I think the Warriors, whoever they play, they're being cooked. I don't think the Warriors can really beat any of these teams, honestly. What really used to work for the Warriors, was their experience. I think the only team they may be able to beat are the Kings again. Aside from that, I don't see the Warriors really beating anybody else. I don't think the Warriors have enough manpower to beat anybody. I don't think they have enough manpower to beat the Timberwolves, definitely not the Nuggets, not the Lakers. Not the Suns. Oh well, they might be able to beat the Suns. I don't think the Suns are serious. Me personally, I consider the Suns and the Bucks to be in that same tier. I don't think those teams are serious. I don't take them. I think honestly, I have them both. I think they both will be out of the second round. Like, do I think the Heat, if Jimmy Butler plays the way he played last year in the playoffs and the way playoff Jimmy can play, the Bucks can get bounced out in the second round. Like, again, and if Julius Randle gets away and he can come back for the playoffs and be 80%, 90%, I really think the Bucks will lose to him. But back to what I was saying about the Warriors, I really do not think the Warriors have enough manpower to beat anybody in the West. I think the Warriors, if the Warriors want to keep contending and try to keep this thing alive, this move with CP3, it was a failure. I mean, he's missed time, injury, and he was shooting bad from the 3-point line to begin with. It was just a whole thing. This whole CP3 experiment, it was an experiment, but it failed. You're still in the same spot as you were last year. You're a little bit worse. So I think the Warriors need to retool. I don't think they need to trade Clay. I don't think they need to trade Draymond. I think they need to keep the core together, but I think they need to retool it though. I think Steph needs a little bit more help. Why do I say that? Steph Curry needs a little bit more help because he's getting older. The off games, they're coming with more regularity. Like, he's not having them all the time, but he'll have like 5 good games and then have like 2 bad games. Like, the off nights are starting to become a little bit more regularly for him. And he's 35? Like, that's going to happen. Klay Thompson, he's washed. Klay Thompson is washed. I don't care what people say. I know he'll have a game in the playoffs or the play-in. Will he have like a 30, 35-point night, hit 8 or 9 threes? And Klay Thompson's washed. And it's not really, and it's not his fault, right? He had 2 back-to-back season-ending injuries, career-threatening injuries, back-to-back. Tore his ACL, then tore his Achilles, back-to-back. That's hard. And for him just to come back and play the way he did for like a season and a half was great. It should be talked about more. His comeback should be talked about more. To come back from losing, your team lost in the finals, you tore your ACL in the finals, then you tore your Achilles in the next season, to come back and be an NBA champion, I think, and to play a big role in that championship run, I think it needs to be talked about more. I really do. I think it needs to be talked about a lot more. But as of right now, I think Klay Thompson's washed. He's washed. The off games are coming just too much. They're too much. He's no longer those peak years with him. He was your number 1 option, or number 1. He was your number 2 option. That was Klay. And then when KD got there, he was your number 3 option. But Klay was a reliable 2 and 3 option. He is no longer a reliable scoring option for you anymore. The off nights are just starting to become too regular now. And that puts more weight on Steph to have to be Superman. And you're asking Steph to be Superman going, into his later years. And Steph's still playing at a great level. He's still playing at high superstar caliber, even MVP level if you want to throw in there. But I think the Warriors just need to go ahead and retool. I think Draymond is still Draymond. He's obviously older, but he anchors down your defense. And Draymond, it doesn't show up in the box score, but Draymond definitely impacts a basketball game when watching it. Because when he wasn't there and he was suspended because he decided to go Floyd Mayweather on Yusuf Nurkic, the Warriors were awful. They were dead in the water. But ever since Draymond's come back, They win games. He's the heart and soul still. Like, he impacts the game. If he can just stay on the court, Draymond impacts the game. People will say, "Oh, Curry carries him and blah blah blah." But Draymond, if you watch the games, Draymond impacts the game so much. Even if he averages 5, 8, and 8, his impact alone changes it. I think the Warriors need to retool. I think they need to go get another reliable young scoring option. I think they need to change something. They need to go out and not get another guard. I think they need to get another wing. I said this in a previous episode. I think they can go out and probably get Lauri Markkanen if they can. Get another reliable scoring option. Somebody that can give you 20 to 25 a night to help Steph out, because Clay can't give you that anymore. Clay can't give you 20 to 25 a night on efficient shooting. That's not Clay anymore. Clay can get you 15, but he'll splash in a game here and there. But Clay isn't that guy anymore where he can be your reliable second or third reliable scoring option. I think you need to go out and get Lauri Markkanen. Maybe try and go out and get like a Nick Claxton. So if you get like a Nick Claxton, Lauri Markkanen, Draymond, Klay Thompson, I know you're gonna have to sign him back. I would just be like, hey, Klay, from like a few games, you really didn't have a good season. We're gonna sign you to this contract. Either you take it or you're leaving. Clay's not the max guy anymore. He's not the guy he once was. I think they go out and get Lauri Markkanen or go out and get Cat, pair him with Draymond, so you still have reliable scoring options. You go out and you get some reliable bench pieces. I'm just trying to think of some, or that wouldn't really work. I was gonna say maybe get DeMar DeRozan, but I don't know how that would really work with Steph, Clay, Dre. That would be interesting if DeMar DeRozan went to the Warriors, but that would be weird to see him in a Warriors uniform. I don't really know how that would work. But I think you just need to go get another reliable scoring option. I think DeMar DeRozan is pie in the sky. I think Lauri Markkanen would fit. I think Lauri Markkanen would fit better because of his outside shooting. DeMar DeRozan's more ISO heavy, mid-range, inside scorer. I think Lauri Markkanen fits better because of his outside shooting ability and his ability also to get to the rim. And he's a bigger wing. He's a 6'9", 6'10". Go get him at the 4. Put Draymond at the 5. Steph at the 1. Clay, I think, needs to be off. I think Clay needs to be coming off the bench. I think Clay, for now on, needs to be coming off the bench next season. And you go get. I'm trying to think of somebody they can go get to fill the 2 and the 3. I mean, you still have Wiggins, but maybe you can package Wiggins up and maybe Moses Moody to go get a reliable, third option, a 3-and-D, reliable 3-and-D wing player from some team like Alex Caruso. So you still have perimeter defense, you still have some shooting, something like that. So maybe you try and go get Alex Caruso and Lauri Markkanen, maybe Cat. I'm just throwing out stuff. I think the Warriors just need to retool. I think they just their window. I don't want to say it's closed because when you used to have Steph Curry, you have a chance, but it's closing and it's closing very fast. So I think the Warriors need to go ahead and retool this offseason. I don't think this whole small ball lineup anymore is going to work. I think they need something different. I think they need something. What's the word I'm looking for? They need something. They need a big like seismic move if they still want to compete. And I think the Warriors just need to change something. I'm gonna put my phone on the charge. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to think. Now, I wanted to. So now there was something that Paul Pierce had said today when he talked about Rudy Gobert And this, he was like, he's not tough, or whatever. These France players aren't tough, and he was like Rudy Gobert. He was taking shots at Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy Gobert has now entered that space of where people hate him and say he's overrated so much that he's now underrated. I think Rudy Gobert is now underrated. Like, regular season success, great. Postseason success he doesn't really have, obviously. But I think I believe Rudy Gobert is one of the most underrated players in the league right now. For real. I think they've underrated him in his value as a defender so much. He's about to win what? His third, fourth DPOY this season? Like, first of all, he's a Hall of Famer. Like, that alone, he's a Hall of Famer. And I think people have disregarded him so much and his value as a defender so much. Those Utah Jazz teams he was on, top rated defensively. This Timberwolves team, top rated defensively. I think he's honestly one of the most underrated players in the league because people have said he's overrated for so long, and people that have said that he like Shaq has been taking jabs at him, Paul Pierce has been taking jabs at him, Gilbert Arenas takes jabs at him, and he doesn't say much in the media. And I just believe he is one of the more underrated players in the league. He's a top-rated defender. He's running one, like I said, his third or fourth DPOY. He's always top in defensive win shares. He's always top in rebounding. He's going to pull down 13, 14, 15 rebounds a night. What more can you ask for? I think is severely become underrated now. Yeah, and it's sad. It's sad. It really is. I think he is a very valuable basketball player to any team. I think he's a very valuable basketball player to any team. Stephen A. Smith said Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is his MVP. I just wanted to touch on this. Stephen A. Smith said he's the number one seed in the West as we speak. He's played 71 out of 74 games this year. He's third in the NBA, averaging 30 behind Luka and Giannis. He's had an NBA high 50 games of 30 or more points this season. He's shooting a career high 53.9% from the field, 58% on 2-point shots, 36% from 3-point range. And 4 games against Denver, they're 3-1, averaging 26, 5, and 5. Stephen A. said Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is his MVP. Nah. Shai Gilgeous is not my MVP. Shai Gilgeous has had a phenomenal season. I recognize Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has had a phenomenal season. But I don't think he's the MVP this year. I think it's still Jokic. Now, Stephen A. Smith had said that yesterday. Stephen A. had said that yesterday on the 1st. This is now, I'm recording this on the 3rd, but it's like almost 1 in the morning. The Nuggets are currently the 1 seed. So when he said that, the Thunder were the 1 seed. But I still think it's Jokic. I really do. I think it's still Jokic. I mean, he leads his team in literally almost every statistical category. Like, almost every statistical category, besides blocks and steals, he leads in points, he leads in rebounds, he leads in assists. Averaging 26, 12, and 9. I mean, he's the most. I think Jokic is when I think of MVP, and even so, like, Jokic he's averaging 26, and I guess like they're saying Shai, he's averaging 30, I think Shai is having a great season, but Jokic is still 10th in scoring with 26. He's averaging more than LeBron, Kyrie. He's averaging more than Anthony Davis. He's fourth in rebounding with 12. He's fourth in assists. So he's top 10 in scoring and then top 5 in 2 other statistical categories. I just think, like I said, when I think of MVP, in my opinion, is the best player that season. Not to the team, but it's the best player that season. And to me, Nikola Jokic still has proven to me he is the best player this season. Again, it was Joel Embiid before Joel Embiid got hurt. But Jokic has still proven to me that he's the best player in the NBA. I honestly think Jokic, if Jokic wins this MVP, he would have 3 MVPs in 4 seasons, in the past 4 seasons. If he wins the finals, he would have been a finals champ. He'll obviously be finals MVP. Now, like I said before, if Jokic wins the finals MVP and this regular season MVP, he has catapulted himself into the top, I would say, 12 to 15 players in NBA and top 5 centers of all time. He would catapult himself into that. He would have 2 finals MVPs, 3 regular season MVPs, and a couple more seasons to go. I don't know, he has what? I would say 4 or 5 more years of his prime. Shai Gilgeous, I think, has had a great season, but I don't think Shai, to me, I just don't think Shai, to me, has proven himself to be the best player in the league. I just don't. Especially when Nikola Jokic is there. Especially when Jokic is there. If Jokic had gotten injured this season, or if Jokic just didn't exist, I still don't even think it would have been Shai, because I think how I would rank my MVP candidates right now would be Jokic, Luka, SGA, and Giannis. I'll say SGA and Giannis. I think SGA is great, but I think Luka is better than SGA. I believe Luka Doncic is better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at this point, I believe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is better than Giannis Antetokounmpo this season. And I say that because Giannis, first of all, has great help. Giannis individually has had a great season. I'm making that very clear. Giannis individually is having a phenomenal season. I'm not taking that away from Giannis, but his team success isn't really there. And we all thought that, oh man, it was going this offseason when we all got that alert that Damian Lillard was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. What do we all think? Oh, Bucks are going to the finals. At the worst, they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. You got people saying they'll be bounced out in the first round, second round. And Giannis is, as much as he wants to say, oh, it's Dame's team. This is Dame's team. No, this is your team, bud. And Giannis, I mean, he's doing great. Like I said, don't get me wrong, he's doing great. He's averaging 30.8. So he's basically averaging 31, but Shai's averaging 30. But Shai has, I would say Shai Gilgeous. I would say Shai Gilgeous has. I'm trying to think who has the better team. I think in terms of star power, Giannis has the better star power. I think the better team. The Bucks on paper have the better team than the Thunder. And I understand, like, and there's no shot at the Thunder, but the other guy's second. The other guy's second best player is Damian Lillard. The other guy's second best player is Chet Holmgren. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather if one has Dame, one has Chet, one has Brook Lopez, the other has J Dub. One has Chris Middleton, the other has Josh Giddey. You know what I mean? I think it's a toss-up between who has the better team. Like, one has Lou Dort, the other has Bobby Portis. One has what's the dude's name? I can't think of his name. Like, I think their teams are eerily similar. Not eerily similar, but I think their teams are kind of neck and neck in terms of, team overall. But the Bucks have underachieved this season. Let's be for real. The Bucks have underachieved this season. Underachieved. They have not looked good. Like, their defense hasn't been there. Their offense up and down. Dame is up and down. Giannis is still Giannis, but the Bucks themselves have underachieved. They're 47 wins, and they have 47 wins. I mean, and they're 8-2 in their last 10, but they're allowing 116 points a game. Like, that's middle of the pack. Like, SGA leads his team in steals, and they're one of the top rated defensive teams. And not only that, but he's one of the top rated defenders too. Like, he is most likely going to make an All-NBA defensive team. He's going to make because there's only 2 all-defensive teams. So he'll probably make it. I don't see how he. I'll have to look at his win share numbers, but SGA will probably make an all-defensive team. Like, first of all, Wemby's going to be on there. Rudy's going to be on there. Derek White's going to be on there. I would say I think those guys are locks. Like I said, Rudy, Vic, Derek White. Those are locks. I don't think Jaren Jackson's played enough. But I think SGA, I think he would make all defensive team. But anyway, like I said, I don't think SGA has been the best player in the NBA this season. And like I said, that's how I define MVP is, are you the best player that season? Were you the best player that season? Now, were you the best player on the best team? Were you the best player that season? And I don't think he has been. I think he's been one of the top. I think he's going to be a runner-up. But I don't think he's been the best player in the NBA. Now, I also wanted to get into, so like I said, with the playoffs roaming around the corner, I wanted to talk about what these playoffs mean and who they hold much weight for. What these playoffs entails for what players. And when I think of playoffs this season and who needs to really show up and show out, number one on my list is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, this playoffs is going to, I feel like these playoffs are going to defy his legacy. I think Kevin Durant is legendary without a doubt. But I think this playoff series, or this playoff, like, I just think what it means for him is, sir, let's say you don't get to the Western Conference Finals again. You are like, I just feel like if he does not get to the Western Conference Finals again, Kevin Durant looks like a Steph Curry merchant. I think he already does look like a Steph Curry merchant. But if he doesn't get to the Western Conference Finals, he's going to look like even more of a Steph Curry merchant. And it's not good. It's just the voices and the critics are just going to get louder. I think this playoff really is a legacy defying thing for Kevin Durant. I feel like this means a lot for him. And right up there with him, 1A, that one Kevin Durant's my 1A. This playoffs this season are going to matter a lot for him. My 1B, I've said it before, Jason Tatum. You have undoubtedly the best team in the East. You need to get to the finals. I just feel like if they can't win this year, which I don't think they win this year, what else will you have? Like what? Like if you don't win it this season, when are you going to win it? Because you have Jaylen Brown, yourself, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Horford, Xavier Tillman, Kristaps Porzingis, and the list goes on. You have undoubtedly the best team in the East. You're most likely going to run through the East. If you don't get to first of all, if they don't get to the finals, it's failure. Like it's going to be bad on his resume. His resume is going to take a huge hit if Jason Tatum does not get to the finals, and if they don't win the finals, I feel like it depends on how they lose. Let's say they lose in 7, they lose in 6 or 7 to the Nuggets, and he ends up putting up 25, 30 points on great efficiency. Good. But I feel like these playoffs mean a lot for him. So they're my 1A and 1B. Number 3 on this list, and these two are kind of linked together. Russ and Paul George. These playoffs are not Russ for Paul George. Kawhi and PG. These playoffs mean a lot for them because, again, okay, we gave you guys the pieces. Harden, Russ, Terrence Mann, Zubac, Norman Powell. You have the pieces now. If they don't reach the Western Conference Finals, it's failure. I think this is going to take a big legacy hit for both of them because it's like, this was the best team that y'all had this entire stint. Like this entire run and this entire stint that y'all have had being on the Clippers, this means a lot for them. This is very legacy defining for them. There's a lot riding on this. And if they don't reach the Western Conference Finals, I think their legacies will take a hit. It really will. Especially for, I feel like Kawhi. I feel like the Toronto run will still hold weight, but I feel like this Clippers run, him not getting to the Western Conference Final, it will just be tainted. It would like taint his legacy a little bit. PG, I feel like this might taint his legacy a little bit. I feel like Joel Embiid, I feel like, yes, a lot rides on him, but if he loses to the Celtics, like if he really it all takes about context. Like let's say the Clippers, they run into the Nuggets in the second round and they lose to the Nuggets and the Nuggets go on to win the championship. There's no shame in that. Like, all right, we played the best player, the MVP, Jamal Murray. He was doing it. If you lose in 7 to the Nuggets, there's nothing really. But like, if Joel Embiid were to lose in 7 to the Celtics, and the Celtics go on to the finals and ended up winning the finals, are we really gonna say like, oh, well, he didn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals? Well, he played the Celtics in the second round. Like, and plus for a lot of this year, he was hurt, and he has basically like this week and like the next week, half of next week to like kind of get into shape after he's missed like what? I don't even know how many months he's missed. He's missed like 2-3 months. I'm trying to think. So those are mainly the people that, excuse me, this really is going to defy their legacy. Because if you're the Suns, what do you do? Like, oh, we kind of put all our eggs in these baskets for Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant, and we didn't get to the Western Conference Finals. Like, oh, we're just gonna run it back. Well, clearly, and I feel like, and what sucks, and I've said this to many people, many of my friends, the Suns, I feel like, are also second round exits. I think the Suns will lose in the second round because they haven't. Bradley Beal all season has been in and out of the lineup, and the Suns are 6-4 in the last 10. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who. It's just the West is so loaded, man. I feel like, the Thunder, it won't hurt anybody's legacy. If they lose in the first, second round, it won't hurt nobody. They're still very young. They're still very young. I feel like, but this really, especially James Harden too. I forgot to put James Harden there. I feel like this will also hurt and taint his legacy a little bit. I think if he plays in the playoffs, like he has a James Harden performance where he has 10 points on, 3 of 17 shooting with 6 turnovers. It's like, okay, well, you're a playoff shrinker. Like, so, the playoffs, these playoffs are going to be really interesting because let's just go through the 1 through 8. Let's say that, because first of all, the Lakers, because the play-in tournament, the play-in tournament would be in the West would be, it would be the Kings and the Warriors. So we would get, right? We would get Lakers, Warriors, and Suns, Kings. Like, that's crazy. Curry, LeBron, or KD won't make it to the playoffs. Like, one of these guys will not make it to the playoffs. Like, LeBron, KD, or Steph is not making it to the playoffs this season. My best bet is I think it'll maybe be the Warriors. I think Malik Monk really being out for the Kings hurts. I think they can probably beat the Kings, but I think, like I said, KD, LeBron, and Steph, one of these guys are not going to be in the playoffs. If not, 2 of them are going to be in the playoffs. But let's just go through the 1 through 6, right? So round 1, in round 1 of the playoffs, you'll get Clippers and Mavericks. Clippers, Mavericks, round 1. We already know Luka versus the Clippers. Kyrie, Paul George, the star power. Boy, oh boy, I tell you. Boy, oh boy. Like, that is going to be who would y'all have in a 7-game series? I want to know. Y'all let me know. Who would y'all have in a 7-game series? The Los Angeles Clippers or the Dallas Mavericks? Honestly, I'm taking the Dallas Mavericks. Luka has something against the Clippers. They cannot stop him. Nobody can really stop Luka, but they cannot stop him. Kawhi, PG, they cannot stop that man. And I also think with Kyrie doing Kyrie things, PJ Washington doing PJ, like they're 8-2 in their last 10. PJ Washington and Gafford cleaning up the boards. You still got Tim Hardaway. You still got Derek Lively. You still that's our round 1 matchup. The 3-6 matchup, the Pelicans and the Thunder. Boy, I tell you, that's a good one. Like, ooh-wee. The 2-7 matchup could be the Timberwolves versus the Kings. Or the Suns. Timberwolves versus the Suns. We can get Timberwolves versus the Kings. Boy, I tell you. In the East, the 5-6 matchup, the Magic versus the Knicks. Now I would take the Knicks, but that's still a very good series. The Magic, I don't think anybody's noticed. The Magic are the 4 seed. Orlando Magic. I'm not gonna lie, that's such a banger. I think, honestly, Orlando Magic theme song over like the Beam last year. Orlando Magic theme song is just fire. But Yeah, man. That we're gonna have the West is gonna be so good. The West is gonna be so good. Let me know who y'all have in a 7-game series. The Clippers or the Mavericks. That's our round 1 matchup. Y'all let me know. But that's all I have for you guys tonight. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll make sure I have some content out for you guys now because I'm back on my regular scheduled program. So I'll record these episodes on Tuesday, get them out to you on Wednesday afternoon. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit us that 100 subscriber mark. We're at 94. Hit that bell notification. Make sure to comment. Make sure to go follow our socials on our TikTok, our Instagram. Go hit us up and get you guys on the flip side. So appreciate you guys watching. Have a good night.